Welcome, everyone. I'm Morgan Appel, Assistant Dean for Education at Community Outreach at the Division of Extended Studies at UC San Diego, and this is Creative Conversations. How might we best tell our stories and take the first steps in a journey toward peace of mind? Research has also shown that journaling may hold the key to these efforts, especially as it relates to specific sources of trauma. Expressive writing appears to help people better manage anxiety and anger. There are also tangible physical benefits associated with the act of journaling, including reduction of bodily tension and restoration of focus. Journaling, akin to the ancient practice of bibliotherapy, has potential to alleviate more common stressors associated with socio-emotional development across childhood and adolescence. Ancillary benefits comprised improved creative expression and cultivation of several writing skills, including planning and editing, stylistic enhancement, attention to genres, organization, and grammar, among others. But just like anything else, I suppose one could say that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And where journaling is concerned, I have been joined by that purpose by Irene Ekdahl, a UC San Diego alumna and entrepreneur with her own line of structured journals and tools available in both English and Spanish. Irene, welcome to Creative Conversations. I hope that you might introduce yourself and tell us about your own pathway into journaling.
Hi, Morgan. Thank you for inviting me to this conversation. I have a degree from the University of California, San Diego, and I'm in the process of becoming an instructor here at UCSD, where I will be teaching the benefits of journaling. And I've been invited by other colleges and universities to teach journaling workshops. I will be teaching next month at Miracosta College. And I also serve as a California public health advocate with All Children Thrive. I am one of 15 public health advocates throughout California, and All Children Thrive works closely with policymakers to combat childhood trauma and ensure the well-being of children and families throughout California. And I'm also a former foster youth, which is where my journaling journey began. I was born in Mexico, but was raised in San Diego most of my life. And unfortunately, I endured 7 years of abuse from the time I was 7 until I was 14. And then I was rescued by Child Protective Services at age 14, and I entered the foster care system. And although I was very grateful to have been rescued, the foster care system can feel like a dark, lonely, sterile environment. And here I was, 14 years old, in an orphanage, crying myself to sleep every night, until one day I just remembered that when I was living back home, I used to journal every day in class for about 10 minutes, and how that made me feel good. And so I started to journal again. And I grabbed a notebook and started to journal for about 10 minutes a day, and little did I know that this simple practice would become a powerful tool in my life that helped me cope with my stress, plan my dreams, my goals, focus on my gratitude, and even help me prepare for therapy, because it was really hard for me to express my emotions with therapists and social workers, the type of people that wanted to help me recover from my trauma. And I am grateful that journaling helped me with that. And yes, so that's how I started journaling again.
And so how did you think about this as a broader solution? So you have your own line of journals. So how did you make the leap from your own experience, your own journaling, to looking at how it might help others?
Well, I realized that I had a shadow in my life, and that shadow was childhood trauma for me. And I know that we, as human beings, we all have skills and talents that we naturally want to develop. And I knew that my shadow was preventing me from reaching my goals and dreams. So I realized that journaling was a tool that helped me so much. And so I created my own line, and it's called Remove Your Shadow. And these are guided journals. They're not diaries, so diaries is a plain notebook basically, and guided journals help you through the process of working with your self-awareness and self-care. It is definitely a self-care tool that helped me, and I know it can help other people.
So it's important to have a degree of structure in the endeavor, because I remember as a kid myself, I used to try to keep a journal, I used to try to keep a diary, but it became burdensome for me after a while, and I kind of gave up on it. Where do you find the motivation to sort of keep going? Is it the structure that helps?
Yes, it's definitely guided journals are an excellent journal for beginners because it helps you through every journaling session. So you're answering prompts, you're answering questions, and it's not work at all. You should definitely consider all the benefits that you will be gaining from journaling, and it should be as easy as eating 3 meals a day. It doesn't take that long to do it, 5 to 10 minutes every day.
And is it solely writing? Are there pictures? Are there other elements involved, like multimedia?
Yeah, so it's definitely writing on paper. That's what I recommend because studies show that writing on paper is more effective than typing, and you're not distracted by the internet, apps, notifications. So when you write, it activates your entire brain and helps you focus solely on your reflections and your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. So you've been at this for a while, and you teach it, and you've provided advisement and counsel to others on the art of journaling. What are some of the things that you have seen come out of it, not solely for yourself, but for others with whom you've worked?
So I have received a lot of positive reviews from people, especially former foster youth who've never journaled, and once they get started, they realize that they've been carrying so much and suppressing it for so long that they feel a sense of release, definitely less stress. They feel more organized. They're just happy to pause everything and just work on themselves for 5 to 10 minutes, and they're feeling more organized and able to meet their goals.
Mm-hmm. So you've also described the experience as cathartic, and you mentioned facilitating preparation for therapy. How does that work exactly? So how did it help you prepare for therapy?
Well, it was really hard for me to express the trauma that I endured for so long. When I would talk to somebody, the emotions would take over and I would literally shake. I couldn't even express the details of everything that I had to go through. And I was able to write in detail everything that my mind just kept going back and replaying. And after a while, after journaling for so many months, I just felt like the stress was just like diminishing, and I didn't let the trauma take control of my life. I took control of my life, and I realized that journaling was that type of simple but very effective tool that helped me do that.
So it helped you to organize your thoughts and look at creative ways to express yourself when you engaged in a therapeutic pursuit. Is that
correct?
Okay, excellent. So now you've talked about the benefits, the multi-sensory benefits of journaling. So not just insofar as writing things down and recalling them and self-expression, but also sort of the tangible benefits for putting pen to paper and holding a book. How do you compete with things like the internet, like apps, where kids can get easily distracted? How does one do that?
Well, you have to, first of all, decide that you want to journal, and then pick a place that can be somewhere more relaxing, like your room, on your bed, or out in nature, or even in your car before you get out to go to work or go to school. You only need 5 to 10 minutes. And again, writing on paper you're already taking a break from technology, because we have so much technology, and I think a lot of people agree that they want to take a break. They realize that They want to do something that's, they don't have to be plugged into the internet, and it's definitely a more comforting experience and more intimate than typing something, on an app that is out there on the internet.
And so do you find that kids, once they start, it tends to be more alluring than perhaps going to the internet, that they really find a sense of enjoyment in putting pen to paper?
Oh, yes. I've definitely have heard from a lot of people who've purchased my journals that they just feel like unplugged for a little bit, and that even people who didn't journal, that they started, waking up first thing in the morning and journaling, because they're really feeling a sense of like taking a break from everything, and it's really positive.
So there's novelty offline.
Yes.
Very good. So now, how does one get started with all of this? So let's say if you're a parent out there and you would like perhaps to have your kids start journaling. Is there also room for the parents to journal? Is this exclusively for younger kids, or how does this work exactly?
Well, I believe that we can all benefit from journaling, no matter our profession, no matter our role in life. We can all benefit from journaling, and so parents can definitely journal, and there's all kinds of journals where you can focus on, like removing that shadow that is blocking you. You'll realize through the process of journaling so much that you've been suppressing, and I think that youth will definitely benefit greatly. As soon as they start journaling, they'll realize that it's such a healthy habit that they can incorporate into their daily schedule, and it doesn't take that much long.
So there has to be a sense of routine involved as well.
Yes.
I think when things tend to be sporadic, people will lose interest, or like you said, it's like eating 3 meals a day. It's like exercise or anything else. So do you need a structured journal to get started, or how do you begin?
Yes, I recommend a guided journal because it will guide you through every single journaling session. So you just have to answer the questions, and there's sections where you get to write a lot about what you're feeling that day, and you're also using a journal to track your daily emotions, and you can look back and look at, realize, wow, I've been having a lot of bad days, or really bringing you awareness of things that you weren't paying attention to.
It also strikes me that beyond attending to issues related to trauma, for tweens and teens especially, journaling can actually be useful in sort of helping them get through their daily lives.
Yes, getting more organized, and also focusing on their gratitude, the things they have, and less on the things they don't have. Even setting small goals is very beneficial.
So goal setting, and of course we talk about writing, the importance of writing, and we know that in education, genres of writing are very important. Have you also talked to teachers about the benefits of journaling? What have educators said about it?
Well, I've been receiving a lot of positive feedback from colleges inviting me to come and teach journaling workshops, because I think that people are realizing that we need to have tools to focus on our wellness, our self-care, and people are just really looking for tools like that. And I think it would be wonderful to implement journaling in schools and universities. I think that it would be a great idea for teachers to journal with their students and just take a break during class and just doing that, just like I did when I was back in 6th grade.
So guided journaling is not something with which I'm familiar. As I mentioned, I started just by writing what would happen to me during the day and how I felt about it, but with no real reflection, or just go day to day to day. Could you tell us a little bit about what does guided journaling look like in practice?
Well, you're answering daily prompts. You're answering these questions, you're filling in the blanks, you're really tracking all different aspects of your daily life.
And are you reflecting on how those make you feel? Is it different every day, or do you respond to the same sort of prompts every day?
It depends. I have, for example, a wellness journal where it's very repetitive because you're tracking your daily supplements, your gratitude, your physical activity. But then you can also have a gratitude journal where you're just answering what you're grateful for and what things you can improve on. What are the lessons that you learned that day? And what are you looking forward to doing the next day?
All right, so Irene, we talked about the journals where you're doing a lot of reflective work, accountability, looking at exercise, looking at gratitude. But we also talked a little bit about multimedia and arts integration, because I know that art can also prove to be very therapeutic. Where does art fit in with journaling, if it does at all?
It surely does. There's art journaling, and I actually have a journal that's coming out where you can, every week you actually do an art journaling project on there, and you get to draw, and this would be perfect for the younger students who can use art as an expressive way to express what they're feeling, and there's instructions on what you should be thinking about and drawing. And it is also just easier for some people than writing words.
So you mentioned that the art is very beneficial for younger kids. So ideally, when should somebody start journaling? Are we talking maybe in elementary school and on up, or?
Yeah, for even elementary school, they would benefit. I believe that everyone can benefit from journaling. Maybe for the elementary school kids doing the art journaling, it would be an excellent journal for them to begin with, because they would draw, and really what you're going to see is that, or these kids are going to see, is that when they draw, they're revealing stuff that they've been suppressing. And so it's very therapeutic.
So it's not only strong emotional connections to the writing content, but also to the process. So if a kid, for example, finds the writing to be therapeutic, they sort of fall in love with the process of writing, or the process of art, or the process of linking the two. So there are some demonstrated metacognitive benefits to journaling as well.
Yeah, once you start to write every day, it will become an easy habit that you can just incorporate, and it really doesn't feel like work. It just feels more like you're doing something good for yourself.
And do you sense that it also amplifies things like creativity and critical thinking and the ability to communicate?
Oh, yes. I mean, that's what it did for me. It helped me release what I was carrying so that I could communicate better with my therapist when the time came.
Now, I know we talked about journaling as sort of an escape from being online, from being on the apps. But for those who just can't break away, is it possible to do this? Maybe not online, but to do it as a program or an app?
Yeah, there definitely are apps, and you can even just start typing, right? Just save your entries on your computer. Just take 5 to 10 minutes and start typing about, whatever you're feeling that day, whatever, just release.
So just go out and do it, in other words.
Yes.
Now, if you had your druthers, what does the future of journaling look like to you?
Well, I would love to see journaling be implemented in all schools, colleges, and universities, and that the teachers would journal with the students. I think that we will see a lot of benefits from that, and I believe that we're all human beings who have been placed on earth with skills and talents, and we naturally want to develop those skills and talents, and journaling can help us with that, because journaling is about self-discovery, and self-discovery is the process of understanding our true self, our values, our wants, and our needs, and it's that discovery that helps us remove that shadow from our life, that thing that is blocking us from living our life to the fullest.
And I think modern day technology forces us to either live in the future or to live in the past. So we're always thinking about what are we going to post, what have we posted, what are the impacts, and it seems like journaling makes us stop to live in the present.
Yes, it forces you to take a break from all that and focus on the present, focus on your thoughts, and really helps you reflect on what are you feeling today, what do you need, what do you want, and you can take a break from technology, and it's something that it's hard to do nowadays.
Yeah, and I think we could all use a break from that. Journaling seems really exciting, and for people who love to write, I can see it being an incredible appeal. But what about those who may not feel that they are great writers or they are lacking in that area? Is it still something that you would encourage?
Absolutely, because your journal is yours, and it's your intimate conversation that you're having with yourself and nobody else. You don't have to share it. You can even throw it away, burn it when you're done, right, and start a new one. And nobody is going to read this, so it doesn't matter what your writing skills and what you're drawing, right? It's just a tool to focus on your own self-care, and it is a ritual of self-love too.
And it seems to me the best way to get better at writing is just to write.
Yes, it's that easy.
In a discourse on writing, author of The Trial, Franz Kafka admonishes us: don't bend, don't water it down, don't try to make it logical, don't edit your own soul according to the fashion. Rather, follow your most intensive obsessions mercilessly. And the same might be said for journaling, as ultimately one of the most intimate forms of introspection, offering unique awareness of self and a roadmap of sorts for recovery. Whether journaling in all its forms becomes an activity ubiquitous and pervasive across the educational landscape remains to be seen. What can be said, however, is that it is a creative pursuit, one with great potential and legacy of impact. I'd like to thank our guest, Irene Ekdahl, for joining us today.
Thank you, Morgan, for inviting me to have this conversation.
Thank you. And I would be remiss if I did not thank all of you for tuning in. For all of us at Creative Conversations, I have been your host, Morgan Appel. Now go out, put pen to paper, change yourself, change the world.